Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Actually Shinima podcast. And today we hadn't a whole deal planned, to be quite honest. It's a bit of a loosey-goosey one. With this being our sort of 10th episode, I thought we'd just sort of take a step back and
so just like not even get perspective, but just it's like a small milestone as it is. It's still a milestone to some extent. So we're as well just try something new, because like we've nothing to lose from it. We're not at a point where people are demanding a certain thing every week. Do you get me? We're still feeling our way through things, and we're like 10 episodes. If this isn't the episode, I don't know what is.
We have something planned. Maybe if we get a bit stuck in the mud, we might delve into a topic, but we might just take it easy for a bit and see what happens. And
because I mean, like, even when we were starting it off, like we never kind of approached it as though we obviously thought we'd have a topic every week, but it was never like, we're going to script out exactly what we want to talk about and stuff like that. And like it became the case for certain episodes, and that's fine. And obviously I still want to keep doing it, because like even if you listen to the cult episode, like that was probably one of the funniest episodes we've had. So it's like, it's not that I just don't want to do that at all anymore. It's just that like being able to come into just having a conversation just normally like has its benefits. You're not stressing of prepping stuff for it. Especially
now with the whole time constraint of Dean's already in college and I'm going in literally maybe next week. So
it like it's important to keep in mind as well. That's why, like you said, like that's why this helps. Just going in and having a conversation, like whatever we end up talking about, we honestly don't have a clue. Like there's definitely not been an episode where we've come in so blindsided by the whole thing.
Yeah. With that being said though, if we do get into this topic, I might just mention it now, it's Elliot Rogers. We mightn't get into it at all, but I did just have the background done on it. Like I read his manifesto and all that type of stuff, but it would be nice in the future to be able to go to an episode with no planning, because even for episode 2, Evil, I was already reading the book Ordinary Men, but essentially I had to read a book. I had to read a book in preparation for the podcast episode, and like fair enough, I was going to read it anyway, but it's a bit of a...
I'd like it to be a thing where it's not we come up with an idea for a podcast and then research everything behind that. I'd rather it be whatever we're looking into or enjoying at that time
100%,
be what we talk about, and maybe it will be for this episode, and like it will be to an extent anyways, but it's nicer to have this, like, let's say moving forward we have more guests on or whatever. That's another instance where like the research probably wouldn't have to be the same, because you could just bounce it off whatever they're saying, but this kind of, I don't know, sets the tone for that, because it's a conversation. Like you're coming in, you're not you haven't told the guest, so this is exactly what we're going to talk about and this and that. You're just seeing how it flows.
Even like obviously we never did have like too scripted, as we were saying. Like the extent of our scripts for me anyway was just like a sheet of paper saying talk about this,
then
maybe.
this,
talk about this and this, but
I think that's important as well, is like we both enjoy doing this, but like we said, like it is a time, there's time constraints around it. Like it's come to a busy time, to be honest. Like in the summer it was grand, because both of us, we were doing a bit of work and that was it really. Other than that, we had all our spare time. But now with me in Galway and Lucas in Limerick, like it'll be tougher, but we still want to do it. So that's why, if it can work out this way, better again.
100%.
Because like last week obviously we had the week off, and if you take a certain amount of time off and keep taking it off, you can lose your momentum and you can kind of drift from it a bit. But even I have to say, like I was talking to someone this week and like they brought it up and they were saying how like they enjoyed it, and like obviously look, someone could be talking shite,
blowing smoke your whole
but just the fact that they brought it up, or the fact that people recognize it and recognize that you're doing it. It actually, like, I was like,
Yeah.
do you know what? I don't want to stop doing this at all. Like,
Yeah, actually, do you know what? No, but yeah, even like when you're on a night out, like, I know it's just people talking shite, but people are, you know,
yeah.
recognizing and they're like saying fair play and all that sort of stuff, and it's nice. Like,
yeah.
we're gonna keep doing it either way.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not just saying this as in, you know, I was so close to quitting and then this revived me completely. I'm just saying it as like, it's like you kind of realize that why would I not do it? Like, if other people can recognize it as being a decent thing and we both enjoy it, like, there'd be absolutely no reason to stop it. Like, we'd like to keep doing this, and whether or not it grows or it doesn't, like, that's okay. Like, obviously we'd want it to, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know?
Yeah, we've definitely shed, well, this is my experience anyway, I've definitely shed that nervousness that I had at the start.
Yeah.
Of before going, I'd be, or, you know, before recording, I'd be sort of shit myself that I'd say something wrong or I'd get cancelled, or today is the day that I'm,
Yeah.
you know.
But even, like, I don't think we would have done an episode like this before, or at the start anyways, you know. It's like, it's confidence, but it's just a matter of getting used to it. Like,
at the same time, we've already got 9 hours of just speaking under our belt, like 9 whole hours more even.
Yeah, more than that even,
So,
but it's like, it's sure, what pressure is there on us? Like, at the end of the day, you can, like, we could spend all our time thinking about, oh, what's the reaction going to be when we put this out, but like, at the minute, like, it's the two of us sitting in a room speaking into fucking mics, just talking to each other.
Yeah, like, I think a big sort of turning point in my perception of, you know, how nervous I was getting before episodes was after filming the Conor McGrath one. Sorry to throw him under the bus now, but that was definitely our most explosive sort of episode, in the sense that it had the most potential for, you know,
flashback.
Yeah, but then after that, it was nothing but positivity, and obviously why it shouldn't have been, because nothing bad was said, but that really just, you know, made me cop on a bit and think, actually no one's out to fucking get you. Like, they're not gonna crucify you for saying some stuff. Like,
and for the most part, like, especially with us, since like there's such little recognition around it, like, no one cares, you know. The people who get triggered by stuff and care about stuff, they're punching up, almost always punching up, like, it's for themselves, and, like, you know, if they might be okay, they might have a just cause, but a lot of it would probably be trying to get attention, and they have no issue giving shite to people who are far above them in terms of whatever status, you know. But with us, that's not going to be the case, because
until we're
scraping the bottom of the barrel, you know.
Yeah, until we sort of assimilate with the patriarchy, I don't think we're
yeah, like, I don't know about you, it's just like, it's such a strange thing, like I was saying about being kind of reinvigorated or whatever by people recognizing it. Like, it's just, I don't know, because, like, we were so up for it when we started, and, like, we still are, but it's like, when you're really busy, you know, and things are taking over, like, you don't want it to fall behind. And, like, obviously there's a part of me that has concern that could happen, you know.
Like, even there was a couple of times where I thought, why shouldn't I just pack it in, man? Like, you know. And you're thinking, oh, well, people will, you know, I give it a good try, but it's like, fucking no, like, there's no point in, like, we have a good thing going, and I always think of it like, I was thinking, no, I'd stop because I don't have the time in college. I have the time to go on the beer. I have the time to go out fucking doing whatever, but I don't have an hour every Wednesday evening or wherever day it is to. We probably just Skype when we're in college.
But, like, I'd say as well, like, the thing is, I can't remember what exactly I was going to say. I had something in mind. It was about the time. Fuck, go on. I can't remember.
But like, even if we're not in person, like, I'll probably be coming down most weekends to play a bit of rugby or whatever, and Dean will probably be coming down. Or even, like, it'll work out. Like, there's no point saying, oh, it's going to be tough, delete the whole thing, type shite. And
No, I know what I was going to say now, that like we've been trying to set up the YouTube, so obviously anyone that's listening to this probably is aware that we have that, so subscribe to us. It'd probably help a lot, and we're going to try and start a TikTok and stuff like that. And we've run into obstacles doing those things, and like that takes up far more time than our recording, obviously, but it's like them small inconveniences would put you off to an extent, and you're like, fucking. But like, it'd be. I think it'd be a foolish thing, because even though we're not doing this for the sole purpose of like a possible reward, like the fact that there is a possible reward, regardless of how small that possibility is, would be like, for the amount of time it's worth it, and even if it doesn't work out, sure, what, like, we've gained knowledge, or not gained, we've gained experience in
public speaking
to an extent, having stuff online, like marketing the fucking podcast, and just and stuff like that, and it's all been something you're going to learn from. Like, even with the video we want to put up on YouTube, like, we want to obviously record these and put them up on YouTube, but like, I was on a fucking a software for editing videos, because mine doesn't, like, I wasn't going to pay loads of money for one, so I had to download it and stuff. But and it's just it's things like that you're like, you know what, that could be super useful. Like,
100%. Like, there's so many things that I've had to do in the lead up to recording episodes that are just so useful. Like, I have a nice new laptop for college. I didn't know how to fucking use the thing, because I'm not used to Macs or whatever, and doing my research I had to get used to it, and now I'm fairly tech savvy with it.
Or even like all the fucking, like, any of the art or whatever for It's All Been Luke, or like the intro for the YouTube that you'll see, like, it's a furthering of our logo. But I mean, like, even stuff like that, like, 100%. I know you were into it obviously before, but it's even more so, it helps.
Even when we started this sort of branching out and whatever, and I was doing the logo, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I might start an art page anyway, because I'd be sort of artistically inclined, I suppose I'd say. That sounds
like a proper gobshite.
Yeah. No, buddy, you know what I mean. I might still start a student, but like, I've started learning fucking 3D rendering and stuff, just because I sort of introduced to it by necessity of
but it's always stuff that'll stick with you. Like, even look at the amount of people who have their livelihood based off stuff they do online, and I'm not saying that's just these YouTubers who are making loads of money, but like, there's small time YouTubers who make a normal living. Like, it's not all about the, like, massive luxury or whatever. And like, you see that becoming more and more the case, that more and more people are, their main source of income is coming from stuff online, and it's like, why would we not keep hammering away at this, even if it was the case that worked out for us in the future or further down the line, not related to this podcast?
Yeah, I'm fully intending to in the future set up my own business or whatever, like a physio practice, fuck. And if I've laid some groundwork here with the learning skills and whatever, why wouldn't I do it?
Like, in terms of advertising yourself online, sure, outside of that, like, there's honestly who the fuck puts any money into any sort of advertising outside of online, really? Like, you're not going to stick your fucking name in the paper, do you know what I'm saying?
Who the fuck reads the paper?
Yeah, no one. Like,
literally.
So, it's just, it's like that. It's like, I just don't think we've anything to lose from keeping this on. And I know it's like, this kind of sounds like it is waffle to an extent, but it's not like we're just filling space. Like, even we haven't really talked about this way, do you get me? And why not come on the podcast and talk about it, instead of just talking about it off it and then starting the recording and being like, oh, I have all these details about this. Like, that's what we originally planned the podcast to be. That sort of content, just off the cuff, kind of giving our opinions on things. Like, we pick a topic and then kind of go off the cuff on it.
I said it before, but my ideas that I wrote down, the vast majority are so different to our actual content.
Yeah.
Our content is very sort of, well, now looking back, it's very, you know,
It's quite rigid.
it's, yeah, and it's very, like, I love it. I love what we did, and I'm really proud of it, but it's very academic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, fucking Mr.
Trying to be anyways. Trying
Mr.
to
High
be.
and Mighty here.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but yeah, it's very exact, and you know, even people that were talking to us about it outside of you know, in the real world, they were like, "Oh man, where'd all these words come out of? Big long words and you know, all that." And it's like, half my ideas were talking through who would win between a gorilla and a bear, or
Yeah. Or who would win a fight between Michael D. Higgins and Warren Davis?
That's in the works, man. That's in the works.
But like, yeah, no, like that, like, the fact that we had those conversations was because those were all things that we were interested in general. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But like, there's no reason why it couldn't be the case that one week I'm like, watching loads of videos on religion or fucking whatever, or reading something about it, or reading a book, and then you're like, you know, it comes up in the conversation we're having on the podcast that week that like this, instead of like forcing ourselves to do things, because if you're doing that, like, there's a chance you could be put off of it.
Sure, even if we hadn't already done it, this week would have been a perfect week to talk about Islam, with the whole Shinima Begmer, that young British girl that went to conscript in ISIS, and then now she's only realising, oh fuck, maybe that was the wrong decision.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, but she's not able to come back to Britain because they revoked her citizenship or some shite.
Yeah.
And this would have been a perfect episode to do our religion that we already did, but we had it, you know, not scripted out, but we had it planned ahead. And
yeah, but it's like, why, like we could go on to talk about that now just off the fact that it's coming up and it's relevant, instead of having the plan all week, do you know? Like, our independent fucking experience of the world and whatever you're feeling like, or whatever's in the news, is as much of a justification for talking about a subject as planning.
So many things, like even the last day I was watching The Matrix, and I never believed the thing of how we're living in a simulation, you know, Elon Musk. It fucking did it for me, The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Oh my god, man. It almost, if I was any way under the influence, believe me, I was
you'd be all in.
I would have been jumping off a building thinking I could fly type shite. But that would have been a perfect segue. I watched The Matrix and shite, and now we're talking about the nature of reality and consciousness and all that.
Yeah, no, I some people might be. Was that the first time you've seen it?
First time. I never watched
I've never seen it. Oh, bad tack. I know.
I'm telling you. As a general rule of thumb, for me anyway, any classic movies that are rated like 10 out of 10 type shite,
you want to watch them?
I don't want to watch them, in fact.
Oh, you're a piece of shit.
No, like, do you know, with stuff like fucking everyone's like, oh, Casablanca.
Oh, well, fuck Casablanca, because that's like black and white shit, man.
Yeah, but it's like Casablanca, best movie ever. It's like, well, I honestly don't think so.
Yeah,
like,
I'd probably not enjoy it that much.
Yeah, I don't care. And then The Matrix, people are like, oh, it's the best movie ever. And I was like, the CGI is fairly shocking. I don't want to watch it.
Is it?
Well, from the clips you see, sometimes some of it is, and all I've seen are the jokes about it. And I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I watched it because it was on Netflix. It popped up. I was bored. Favorite movie, to be honest. Now.
Favorite movie.
The first Matrix. To be honest, no, second favorite movie. It's my second favorite movie.
Losing out because of what?
Donnie Darko.
Oh.
Yeah, no, but it's the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 that I've seen in a long time. Jeez,
I'll have to watch it now. No, because I've been kind of trying to plan what movies I'll watch based off Ilya's podcast.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with his as well, but I just can't keep going. I've watched everything up to, I think the last two I haven't watched.
Yeah.
But I've watched all the other ones. I even watched Blade. I watched Blade Runner. Another one I didn't want to watch.
Did you enjoy it? You enjoyed it.
Probably top 10, top 5 for me, to be honest. Great movies, like.
Yeah, but even like this, like just talking about shit like that, like even that's one of the reasons why I appreciated Ilya's idea to come up with the podcast as a whole, just because like I feel like so everyone likes movies, everyone likes certain movies or whatever, but no one's really into them, and it's like there's obviously some, and I'm kind of like, I really like them, like I really appreciate it's like good acting and a good director and just a whole thing coming together into a movie that makes you feel something. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, I saw him making it and that podcast, and I was like, fair fucking play. I was like, why would you not? Yeah. It's the same as this. Like, it's just, it's a somewhat niche thing, or it's a fucking, it's a small percentage of people that would actually enjoy it. But I was like, fair play.
It sort of mirrors what we were saying with our sort of mission statement. I think that we're talking because we want to, and we feel like a lot of people do want to talk about this shit, but when you're on a night out with friends, it's like, oh man, look, we don't want to talk about the nature of consciousness and self-awareness type shit. And it's like, well, where else am I going to talk about it? When we have the podcast, we can devote a whole hour to talk about this stuff. And the same way, when you, let's say,
when it comes down to movies, and I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate like some really good filmmaking. Do you know, like what would be labelled as boring, let's say. Yeah. And like, I'm not being I'm not saying I'm a fucking film connoisseur, like that's oh, you know, I only appreciate indie movies that were made on like a €100 budget.
Yeah. No, but like even really critically acclaimed films like Zodiac, Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, my favourite actor, by the way. That's why Donnie Darko's number 1. In Zodiac, and it's
that's a good movie.
It's a really good movie.
It is,
It's a really good movie, but on the face of it, people are like, why would I watch it? I know this is not a spoiler, the Zodiac Killer hasn't been caught. And it's a 2 and a bit hour long movie, really long, and you know nothing's going to happen per se. Yeah. But it's just, the cinematics in it are just no action scenes whatsoever, except just good storytelling.
Yeah, that's a thing as well, that like it can be a movie, even if the movie is boring, you can be like, that was a really good fucking scene, or like the intro to a movie, or the intro to, like, it's just such small things that you can appreciate. And I feel like a lot of people just don't take any heed, and like that's fair enough. We're not saying this as in you know, I'm better than you because I appreciate small details in films. I'm just saying I'm someone who does that, and you obviously appreciate whatever you appreciate. Yeah. But I'm like, the fact that like Ilya has that space to talk about it, or obviously his has changed up now a bit, but just originally you're like it's good that, you know, people like that can come together.
Because most time when you're like saying to the lads, whatever, it's like, oh, did you see the movie the last day? Oh yeah, that fella, oh, he did a really cool thing. It's like, oh, well, I think it's a metaphor for society. It's like, shut up. Yeah. But you know, it's nice to be able to think about it, and basically, I think our podcast anyway, and Ilya's, is just sort of the stuff that we want to do, but we can't in real life. We can't talk about this stuff.
It's as easy for us to do it here as it is for anywhere else. So it's like, why not do it here? Exactly. Yeah. When you have the chance of reaching out to people who are in the same boat or feel the same as yourself. Yeah. Like, it's nice to see that, and to see other people, you know, wanting to do the same thing, like wanting to. The word community is kind of, I don't know, a bit loose for that, but, you know, wanting to get a community of people who share these things, who probably feel the same way as yourself. Yeah.
100%. Another thing I noticed as well, certain people opened up a lot more to us about their own views because we have put ourselves out there. Like the people even in work, they'd a couple of them would be come up to me and be like, oh, you should talk about this, I think blah blah blah. I never would have talked to them about this type of shite.
Yeah, because it's like, it's all about fucking small talk.
Yeah.
And like, small talk's fine and well, but Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, it gets fucking boring. Like.
Yeah, like there's only so much. Geez, great weather. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you won't be long out. Whatever. Oh, you die for a drink. The type of shite. But then it's like, because we've made the, you know, figurative first step in sort of diversifying the whole thing of topic conversation, people are more comfortable coming up to me and be like, oh, you should talk about this in the podcast because I really think that Kanye West is blah blah blah, or that the simulation is being run by Elon Musk. And
but sure, that's all we kind of ever wanted, was just for anyone to like that. The whole thing has been employed to get people to give us attention.
Were you joking?
No, what I'm saying is like the whole idea behind it was just being able to have a fucking conversation about whatever you want, about something that's half sort of deep. And even if someone comes up to you and they want to talk about, let's say something like, we're not saying that talking about movies is the fucking deepest conversation you can have, but if they come up and they say something that's not just, that has some sort of depth to it, that's not just complete off the surface, that, you know, they've thought about it and that's what they really feel about the movie, or that's what they think about a certain part of it, or whatever. It's like, it's nice when people put a bit of thought and have an opinion on something, instead of, like we were saying, like small talk and, you know, even following, like, it sounds stupid, but even like following the crowd in terms of opinions, which is very easy done.
Yeah, like if you work, or if you're a person, to be honest, you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's say at work, I'm not working in my job anymore. I quit. I didn't get fired.
Yeah. Make that clear. He's putting everything into this. He's going to drop out of college too.
No, but you'd be working with some people and they'd be like, oh, what do you think about this whole vaccine? And you'd be like, I don't know, what do you think? And they'd be like, oh, I think it's a lot of shite. And you'd be like, oh yeah, they haven't tested, blah, blah, blah. And then you work with someone else and it's like, what do you think of the vaccine? And it's like, oh, well, I think it's great. Oh yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can never have an actual conversation.
Yeah, I think, like, I have to admit that I think I'm kind of guilty of that myself. Just going along with someone's opinion so that you don't get bogged down in a big conversation with.
Like, I never explicitly lie or say actually anything untrue. I just completely neglect to...
Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah?
Yeah, or like, what I'm saying about the whole anti-vax, keep in mind I'm pro-vax, I'm double-dosed, PSA, no, but...
Beautiful disclaimer.
Everything I've said about something that might be anti-vax is generally just mild criticism of certain
It's just
parts.
mild skepticism.
Yeah, mild skepticism, exactly. It's sort of stuff like, oh, somebody like, oh, they haven't tested enough. And I'm like, yeah, to be fair, the testing
you're
period
probably right,
was generally shorter than others. And then I don't go on to say, well, it doesn't matter because it was very strenuous and all of that. I don't say that, so it might seem as though I'm anti-vax, but
yeah, like,
you know,
like we're saying that, like, that's kind of what we were after, was people having, you know, conversations where they actually care or have a bit of something behind what they're saying. But like, we've both been massively guilty of that. Well, I don't know. I have, like, I'm
100%. I'm a very.
You just don't want confrontation in a situation like that. Like
there's no need for it in a lot of circumstances. Like you don't want to be at work and be, when you're working, you don't want to be delving into the nitty gritty. Like,
yeah, you just want to get the day done.
Yeah, it's like you're literally there just to. You're just talking to fill the silence. You're not talking to actually do anything. Like.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe if it was the case that no one was willing to be offended or whatever, but there's a certain part of you that's like, I'm not going to disagree with this person just in case they take it kind of bad, or just in case it gets, you know, too tense or too serious. If everyone's willing to give their opinion without having massive heart behind it and just say what they think, well, no, have your opinion and like have it well thought through in your head, but not emotionally invested in the idea.
Yeah, like if everyone could just say, it'd be a lovely world if you could disagree with someone and they go, I accept that criticism.
Fair enough.
However, that is not the opinion that I...
If everyone talked like that, though, you definitely know you were living in a simulation. Everyone just like, this is how humans are supposed to act.
I accept your criticism. However, this does not comply with my reasoning. No, but it becomes a thing where it's like, well, why do you think that? Oh, blah blah blah, this and that, and it gets heated, and you're like, well, just say nothing, like, you know.
And keep saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's easier to not say anything and just go along with it instead of stirring what could be a fuss.
Exactly, and there's like if I'm at work, I don't want to be stirring a fuss.
Yeah, like even with the two of us, like we agree with each other with most things, but like even the times we disagreed, like you're kind of like, you know, it's worthwhile.
Yeah,
and it's enjoyable. Like everyone, if you enjoy arguing with someone or debating with someone,
yeah,
a lot of people will think that like you're stubborn or like why do you enjoy, you know, arguing and being confrontational like that. But it's not even that. It's just like, I don't know, there's something enjoyable about trying to get someone over to your point of view. It's like the thrill of what if you're able to convince them, and like but at the same time obviously you have to be open to being convinced yourself. It was like that's like those were episodes that I enjoyed as well. Like was it religion? No, it was morality. Yeah.
We didn't agree, and actually going back,
and religion as well, I think.
And religion as well. Yeah. Going back, listening to other things and reading up, I've become more set in my stance on morality, and I'd imagine you are as well. Religion, what I said in that episode, do you know what? We might do another episode on it. We'll see.
It's not like I brought it up as your chance for redemption.
Oh,
There's a gun under the table. It's like, change your fucking mind. Yeah, like it's like the more conversations you have like that, the better. The more chance there is of you actually thinking something that's fairly fucking logical.
Yeah, even I think this last day, I was thinking of purposely putting in something ridiculously offensive in an episode. Like, not saying that, but maybe saying something just...
Let everyone think of that what they may. But go on.
Yeah, just say something incredibly racist. Not because I think it, but because that would then make someone have to open up a dialogue with us.
Yeah.
And we have to open that can of worms. And, you know, it's only open because I purposely said something.
Yeah, because you opened the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm obviously not going to do it because I'm not that stupid. But, you know, I'd almost think about it. Like, in the same way, anything that I think I'm back on that I might have said that was wrong in that religion episode, I'm not going to say it until someone says it to me.
Yeah, no, I know. But because,
like, unless it's really bad, like I've, you know.
But it's like that kind of dialogue or whatever, in a way with the podcast, we're kind of, like, I'm not saying we're the ones opening it to fucking society, we're opening it to ourselves. And obviously everyone does in their own heads, but at least when we're doing it with each other, the few people that are listening as well might be brought in on it. Yeah. But it's like, why couldn't it be the case that we sit down here and, like, you know, we both spend a decent amount of time on social media or whatever, and it's like, I saw this on social media that's a reflection of society, and I think this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then we just talk about that, you know, instead of, like we were saying, like having to prep. Like, it's nice to be able to... We started kind of wanting to give our opinions and have decent discussions, and that's like the forefront of it.
Yeah, the whole reason I was so into prepping, I probably prep, apart from the last episode, I prep on average probably a bit more than you do.
Yeah, probably.
Not in terms of, like, Dean does a lot of reading, but I do more like specific episode prep.
Yeah.
Like, as in actually write down notes and shit.
Yeah, you probably know more. You know more smaller details, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, not generally, but just coming up to the episode, I'd just be that way inclined because that level of nervousness about being ignorant. Yeah.
And it's like I really don't want to say something that's wrong or stupid.
Like I don't want to. when I make a point, I don't really hold back. And the worst thing for me would be if I make a point very, very like vehemently that is just completely wrong.
Yeah, that you seem like a proper fool. Like,
Yeah, like if I'm like that whenever we did anything about racism or specifically about the BLM movement, I researched the flip out of that because it's such a divisive topic that I didn't want to be wrong. And I didn't say anything bad, if you think I might have listened to the episode. But yeah, now I'm less afraid of making a fool of myself, and I know that I can dig myself out of that rut if I do, so I don't have to do as much research.
Yeah, well, I think it was like starting off as well, we were like, who's going to listen to this? How many people listen to this? We need to be wary of that. But at this point, it's like, you know, obviously when you're starting it, there's that initial rise and a bit of hype around it, and it just falls off, and then hopefully over time it picks up, you know, but like obviously a massively extended period of time. But it's like, at this point, it's like the people that are listening get what we're about, I think. Yeah. We're not trying to prove ourselves to anyone. So it's like, I can come on and say something that's wrong, and I can find out later that's wrong, and I can accept that. I don't have to be like, come on, make a full episode apologising for saying something that was fucking wrong.
I think the way to sort of sum that up is that most people would realise if we say something wrong that it's out of character, not that it's indicative of our character being wrong. Yeah. If you get what I mean, as in like, if I...
Or even, even it's just like that you heard wrong information, which is so easy to be the case.
Yeah, like if I... That's a bad example. I'm not going to say
We want bad examples. We want nothing but them.
Yeah, no, okay, I'll say it. But like, let's say I just said something incredibly racist right now.
Yeah.
You might be led to believe that, oh, maybe he was just a closet racist this whole time. Or maybe you'll think, hold on a second, he was definitely not in his right mind there. That's not him.
Yeah.
And I know that would be more sort of the case now because we have a base of people listening to us that will know. But if it was the case that we're trying to, you know, keep going to new people, we still said but we're...
Yeah, but like, we're not going to do it, like, we're not going to come here and try and talk about the things that we think most people will enjoy that aren't people who've been listening. Like, we're kind of putting out what we want. You know, if wants to listen, listens, and other than that, we're not fishing for fucking appreciation and attention.
Yeah. That's that.
It's kind of... We've been waffling on a fair bit, but it's like, I kind of wanted to do this because I was like, it came to a point where I can't remember what exactly it was we were talking about at some stage, like it was off mic, but I was like, why wouldn't it be the case that we have this? Sometimes it feels like we're not having a conversation as much as we're making a podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I'd like it to become more of that.
Yeah, even having just said that, it feels like I'm talking to the laptop.
Yeah.
And we're both talking to the laptop.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a proper conversation yet. I don't think we will properly until we have our own personal Jamie from, you know, Joe podcast. I think we'll probably still be talking to ye.
Yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons I wanted to do this, was like I've enjoyed it up until now, but I kind of want to move away from that being the case. Like we started this as wanting to have conversations, and it's like a lot of the time it feels like I'm explaining mine and your point of view. Do you get me? It's coming across as though we're the one person.
Yeah.
And it's like we both just take turns and speaking to them about what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Where it's like more the case where like, and maybe it'd help if we disagreed on more stuff. It'd be easier to have that back and forth. But like, but the way it is, it's just, I think it's probably it's nicer to listen to, I think, to two people talking as well, than to someone imagining they're talking to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was going to say
something horribly racist.
No, I suppose. Last episode actually, I was a bit not in the right headspace. I don't know, did I get a minor concussion or not? You probably didn't notice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone that didn't notice,
I was a bit.
Luke went to the hospital.
Huh?
No. Luke took some rest because he thought he might have had a concussion.
Yeah, during the episode there is the one with Ilya. Forgot to message Ilya. I said some questionable things after to him. No, but I wasn't really with it, and afterwards I sort of then I was fairly out of it, foggy memory, and I said a few things to Dean about going crazy and stuff like that. And I don't know, was it
happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I don't know, was it exhaustion? But I did get a knock in the head the day before, so that's probably it.
Yeah. I think that episode probably helped me align the views that I've been putting forward, like in this episode, because even the way we were talking to Ilya, like when there's someone there, when there's a third person there, it's easier to have a conversation.
Yeah.
To get me, like we're both coming out here planning to have the podcast. As
much as we're not afraid to disagree, Ilya's great for disagreeing. I think
he's fond of it.
He's
well, no, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying
he's
he holds his views to he holds his own.
He has no qualms in saying, well, no, and he did it to me a few times. I took some liberties.
To be fair, I think any sane man that was sitting across from Luke would have probably disagreed too.
I took a few liberties, and he goes, well, I don't know about that, and fair enough. But it's nice to have someone that will actually disagree properly. We have disagreed, but in more of a, well, I suppose type of way.
Yeah.
We need someone on to really put us in our place.
But not even that to prove that we're wrong. Just like someone that holds a different view from ourselves, because ours are so similar that it's hard to, like, you can discuss a topic, and I can agree with everything you've said, and then at that point I'm just like furthering on what you're saying, so it's not going back and forth between me and you. It's the two of us just speaking out what we both already think.
Like even the stuff we disagreed on was very, very marginally. Like semantics, really. And it wasn't a case of, well, no, it was, well, I suppose this maybe instead.
Well, it's like this. Okay, we go through things that we like, very topical things that we can see if we disagree on or not. Okay. I think religion, both of us have very similar views.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
I like identity politics. I think both of us have similar views.
Yeah, down with it.
I think politics in general, I'm not sure. We've never really discussed politics like that, to be honest. It's more cultural politics or societal politics.
The only politics we've discussed is the stuff we absolutely do not like, which is communism.
Yeah. So we agree on that. So I think, like, I'm probably, like, everyone thinks that people who say they're centrist is just a cop-out. But, like, I think I am to an extent. Like, I honestly, I wouldn't know who to vote for it sometimes. I probably lean... It's so weird because half the policies that are, identified as left and half that are identified as right, it's like you can agree with fucking both. And when that's the case, you're like, what do you do from there?
My problem as well is, it's sort of becoming a thing. Dean mentioned this in another episode, but it's like, left and right is basically just a scale. It's become a scale now between two different things. So it's like, if you're on the right wing, you hate gays. If you're on the left wing, you're super gay.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I'm not going to say it again because I already said it.
And it's like, if you're on the right, there's two genders and women should stay at home. If you're on the left, there's no genders and houses are not they're a social construct.
But it's so strange because, like, I'd like to sit here and say that that's not the case, that's only how it's portrayed online. But, like, both the people that, like, openly, say that they're whatever side actually do hold all those views. And it's definitely a case that people are fucking brainwashed to a certain extent that, like, I agree with this, so I better agree with everything else that they say because the other side won't want me because I agree with this.
And And another thing as well, you can be right wing at times and left wing at times, and like there's not many people that are on the same side in, let's say, an abortion debate and a fucking it's not always the case that people will be on the exact same side on an abortion debate and, let's say, a reparations debate.
Yeah.
You could be supposedly left wing on one and completely right wing on the other.
Yeah.
And you can't just take a thing and be like, well, I'm left wing, but then I'm right.
Yeah, but it's like, this is one of the massive fucking problems with what American politics has done to, like, obviously American society, but it's stretched further than that, is the whole two-party fucking system has ruined it. Because it should be a case that, like, you approach each of these issues independent of any other view you hold. Well, obviously, if they're massively interlinked, then, you can't. But it shouldn't be that, like, a party's ideology, fucking one of the two leans completely one way and the other way. Like, the two-party system is a shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
It does nothing but push people against each other, and it's like, I like, that's why I find it difficult to, people wondering what you identify as politically. It's like, it's a difficult thing to do, because it's like I could say I'm right wing because I think that, certain immigration laws should be whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, why the fuck do people not want gays to get married?
Yeah.
Or it's like, why the fuck does the right deny that climate change is a thing?
Yeah. Or like, like I could really want to move towards like a more socialist.
Whoa.
Wait,
Someone put on the brakes.
Sorry.
Someone put on the fucking brakes.
Democratic socialism type, like Sweden type vibe.
Communist. Yeah.
Sweden type vibe in the economy, but I also don't want what they're doing over there with the whole gender neutral stuff. And where does that fall on the thing? On the
it's like, why not pick and choose fucking ideas that you like? Yeah. Instead of, that's something, I suppose we agree with that massively as well, that, like, we both strongly dislike the way that you're lumped into a certain group.
Yeah, my big thing is there's so many new genders, but there's still only two political.
That's Luke's hot take of the day.
No, but you know what I mean.
It's like the start of a terrible stand-up show. What's with all the genders?
No, but you know what I mean. There's everything, whether you believe in the gender identities or not. No, I'm going to go into the gender identities,
Luke's going to go into the gender identities.
Because I think I was listening to a podcast about basically about intersectionality type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, he wrote a book on it. And he was saying that intersectionality, it's fighting against itself all the time. Like, you can be a woman. What was he saying? No, he was basically saying sort of how feminism is now sort of fighting against
transgenderism.
Transgenderism, and
I was going to say
it's
that.
like there's, let's say with the gender identity things, there's the prevalence of the notion from the very, very ultra left. I hesitate to use that even, but that gender is a social construct.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Stop constructing gender so. And it's like, why is there so many genders if it's a social construct?
Yeah.
Why do you need to define people by gender? But then it's like, the same people that are, getting mad about people being misgendered are also talking about the plight of women.
Yeah.
And it's like, I thought...
Stall the digger.
Sorry, you're a woman, and then it's like, well, no, we're just women presenting, and we're femme presenting, and it's like, what's feminine? What's feminine? I thought gender is a social construct.
That's why, that's the massive overlap there.
That's why I can't get in to a serious debate about it, because they're in a mess of their own terminologies, that it's like, oh well, I'm not a woman, I'm actually
yeah,
gender
like
non-fluid,
it's like
whatever. But
the original argument, or like kind of the original statement behind feminism was the whole idea of gender being a social construct. Or no, that's not true. Originally it was Originally it was so that women would have equal rights as well, and then it developed however many times to a point where it was that the gender is social construct, and then the whole transgenderism kind of, it's saying that, but like for those who want to change gender from just straight from male to female, or want to be a trans man or trans woman, like
even the transgenders are getting caught up in this. We maybe a few years ago would think, oh, there's no way feminism is going to get out liberaled.
Yeah.
And then it's like, look what happened.
Yeah.
The transgenders came along.
What is it? Is it TERFs or some? No.
What?
There's some term for. Is it feminists against transgenderism or something? Actually, I don't know.
Oh.
I'll check. Do you know what I'm on about?
I think I know, but yeah, I'll go on at my thing of, it's like, oh well, feminism was out liberaled. No way it'll happen to the transgender movement, where there's women could be men, men could be women. That's a topic we need to discuss another day. I'm for gender reassignment. It's up to you, but also not. It's a net.
Oh yeah.
I think we discussed that last episode. But anyway, and then it's become a thing where it's like, are you really so close-minded that it's transgendering from male to female? What are female characteristics? Why do you need to transfer? Why do you need to? What's the word? Transition. Why do you need to transition from male to female if they're both social constructs?
Yeah.
And now it's the thing where, hold on, transgender movement is getting out liberaled, and then the whole.
Yeah, like the TERF it's an acronym for trans exclusionary radical feminists. So like the fact that that's the case, it's like, it's weird to know who's winning that battle either.
Yeah.
Because the fact that exists and they're calling them radical makes it seem like radical's always used in a way that it's a negative.
Yeah.
So it's like, are the feminists that aren't for transgenderism or whatever, are they being seen now as the same as right wing? Like, it's just the amount of overlap is really crazy.
I think what's happening is we're just getting too comfortable.
No, I'll tell you what's happening. Or I won't tell you what's happening, but I'll tell you what a problem with it is that people like. It's okay that society breaks up certain things because of actual biological differences.
Yeah.
Okay, so sport, fair enough.
100%.
Bathrooms, whatever. Why does that mean so much to people if everyone massively got behind the individual and individualism and like carry themselves through society, just based off the individual? If people weren't so hooked up on groups and your identity or your group identity being the most important thing, like if your most important thing, like if everything about you is based off the fact that you're transgender, like the thing is, like if we got to a point where no one fucking cared,
that's it. Yeah, but then, and this is the worst thing. Someone will listen to this and be like, easy for you to say white man.
Cis straight white male.
Yeah, you've never been defined by your group identity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so it's a good thing that I should be.
Yeah, that's the whole like why identity politics is such an issue, because it's like, it's a very similar thing to race. Is that like a massive, like the reason behind Martin Luther King movement was that color couldn't be seen, and now it's fucking so important that like you being black or me being white or whatever becomes so important in society that it dictates how people should interact with you and how you should interact with society.
Yeah, like this is a thing I noticed as well. I've said it a few times, but the people implanting characters of a certain group into a show to, for diversity or to empower. And
I don't like that shit when it's really obvious.
I don't like it, but even there's some that are, I don't know if they're sneaky or if they just fit. Like, I'm rewatching The Walking Dead now, and that character Michonne, she's so cool. And I don't care that she's a black woman. That sounds insensitive, but it's like, I don't care that she's a black woman in the sense that good on them for empowering the black community.
Yeah.
It's just right that she is.
The story just works well with it.
It just works like that, but maybe if she was introduced as a white man, from the start I would have been okay, but I don't know. It just happened to work like that. But if we were to, let's say, reshoot The Walking Dead, for an example, and instead of having Rick Grimes as a white guy, actually have him
as a trans Asian person.
Like Renee Grimes, who's a fucking whatever.
Your man, no, it's your man who got all the surgery to become like the K-pop fella.
Oh, no, but like if we switched out Rick for the sake of diversity, it wouldn't work. But there's so many diverse characters that are just good because they're good characters, not because they're diverse. Yeah,
there's a certain amount of forcefulness behind that you can see, and it's become more evident obviously in the last 10 years or so, even like 5 years.
Yeah, and like the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, like that. Like, it shouldn't piss you off, but it kind of does. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because you know what they're doing. Like,
yeah, they're forcing something on you, and it's like not even the case that I completely oppose what they're saying. It's just the case of I don't want this to be forced on me.
Yeah, like there's so many powerful. Some of my favorite characters, top 10 favorite characters, definitely from books anyway. Most of them are females, just because that's the way they were.
Well, no, it's like this even. It's like people say in Hollywood there's a massive issue with, a lack of roles for Asian actors, or a lack of roles for black women or whatever, and it's like we're in a better place now than we were a long time ago in that there's people to fit every type of role and there's every type of role for people to fit into.
Yeah.
But it's like, to an extent, like Hollywood is an American film making company, and it's like it's representative of the population.
One thing I didn't like, actually, I was about to say this on an episode. I didn't cop it. I didn't cop it the first time around because it just fit. I didn't care. It was in Thor, Ragnarok, I think. One of the Valkyries is a black woman. Valkyries are women anyway. I find it that the fact she was black, I didn't care watching the movie. She was a very good character. She was a great character. But then, after watching Black Panther and realising there was no white Wakandans,
Nordic people aren't exactly the darkest in skin tone.
Like, I honestly don't care that there was no white Wakandans, but then I thought it clicked. And I thought, why is there no white Wakandans? Because they're in the depths of Africa. Up in Scandinavia, they're not exactly too dark. And that's what got me. I didn't care that character was black in Thor. She was
a good character.
She was a very good character.
Like, a good character is a good fucking character. What's the worst is when they force someone into it and they end up being fucking terrible, and they're also just there because of whatever
the worst
they're
thing.
Trying to diversify.
And I was saying it, I don't know if I say it on the podcast, but I don't know, did they make the movie? Is it in production? Is it going to be made in the future?
Oh,
and Boleyn.
Yeah, you didn't. I don't think you've mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah, there's a movie. I'll just say it's going to be in production. I don't know.
I'll check.
But while he's searching that up, it's about Anne Boleyn. You know, the British monarch who was a white woman, but they cast a black character to play her. And everyone is like, this is what we needed, this is diversity. And it's like, well, we know she was white, why are you doing that? And it's like, well, Keira Knightley played her before and she doesn't have the same colour hair and she's actually from German origins or whatever. And it's like, well, she's closer to it than
Yeah. It's awful forced.
Like
And
the-
like that's okay. At the same time, we can definitely make the case that there's been roles before that should have been played by probably other people. Excuse me, that were played by white people.
Yeah,
Or like
100%.
and like when that's like we'll criticize that when that's the case as well. It's not like we're just attacking people who are taking white people's roles. Do you know what I'm saying?
But like, it's just when it's an obvious
Yeah,
ploy.
it's like
for
there's
the
more
person.
of that because like that Western society is majority Caucasian. Like
Yeah, you're not gonna go to Bollywood and say, "Where's the white people?"
yeah.
All I see is Indians.
Yeah, but it's like even if someone makes a movie about fucking whatever, like you don't want to make a movie about Malcolm X and have Ryan Reynolds as Malcolm X. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Could you imagine? Or like, you make a movie about Vietnam and you just get all Irish lads to be the Viet Cong.
the Viet Congs.
Come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that frustrates me is inconsistency. I couldn't give that's my biggest gripe in the world, inconsistency.
You sound like a fool. Yeah, but you mean inconsistency in terms of like ideas or whatever.
Or a more
Not in terms of like
a more
you go to
academic
the
way.
gym one day and you eat a takeaway that night and then you don't
No,
go the
no,
next.
no.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Okay, a more definite definition, cognitive dissonance, I suppose,
Ooh, for all you big word folks out there.
is how you'd say it. So, when someone holds a certain point of view, but also has a point of view that is in complete direct opposition
yeah.
to that. So let's say you were at like an animal rights protest about
Eating a
about
burger.
about the cruelty of pig farming, and you're there eating a fucking
Ribs.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just cognitive dissonance. But then, in a more sort of discreet way, the whole thing of gender is a social construct, but my gender is specifically blah blah blah, gender fluid, blah blah blah, blah.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's just dissonant to the fucking moon, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very intellectually lazy.
yeah, like, that's most of my decisions now are based off being more consistent in my thinking. You might think this is a bit extreme, as I said it already before. It's turned into the stereotype, but I went vegetarian because I don't like killing animals in my spare time, so I'm not gonna, kill them for meat. I'm not obviously not killing them personally, but I suppose I just did it because there was a small inconsistency there, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I get you.
Not that I care, but just I wouldn't do it. Even this is a funny example just to round it out. JME, Skepta's brother.
What a jump! Go on.
He's vegetarian or vegan. I don't
Jamie
know.
Skepta's brother.
Is it? He's sure he is. Not Skepta. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Not Skepta. He is, no? Look him up there.
I'm looking up Jamie. He's a British MC. Siblings. He is Skepta's brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Jeez, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Anyway,
Whack.
fun fact for the day.
Thank God. Jeez, there would have been some racist allegations if that had been wrong.
Anyway, he's vegetarian, and I thought, I wonder why. And he goes,
I think I heard the video of him on about it, yeah.
He goes, we feed animals plants, and we have to grow these plants to feed these animals, to eat these animals. Why not eat the plants instead of feeding them to the animals? That's why I'm vegetarian. And I thought, that's just perfect.
Fair play to this man.
Yeah. He's not dissonant in the slightest.
No, Jamie's pretty on point.
Speaking of on point, shout out the best freestyle cipher, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Him and Skepta, Jamie and Skepta.
The brothers.
I think it was Fire in the Booth.
Maybe.
Or no.
I remember you showed me it before, anyways.
Yeah, it's just iconic. Anyway, tangent over.
Whack.
I think we're.
I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we're an hour and 5 now, or so.
Yeah, at the start of this, I was so worried that I was like, the fact that we have no plan, like, this is going to drag on. But it's just having a conversation, like,
Yeah.
we're just talking shite, like.
Yeah, sure. We might do our next episode on Elliot Rogers. I have snippets from his manifesto lined up in front of me actually. So
yeah, or even no, anyone that's listening, can they please give us some feedback about what they thought of this episode?
Yeah,
We'd appreciate it so much because we're putting this out there, kind of not knowing exactly how it's going to sound or whatever. But any feedback would be really appreciated.
100%.
And also, I should have said it at the start, but if anyone notices that my voice is a bit fucked, or that I've been sniffing or whatever, like, apologies for the audio.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too bad though.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad at all.
So
yeah,
that's all it a day. So
yeah.
Thanks a million for listening.
Right, see you now.
See ya.